Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to talk about why the narcissist looks so in love with the new supply. And the reason that I wanted to talk about that is that a few people have been commenting to me about, I saw them with the new supply and they just look so in love. And I want to address that. Firstly, this is why we stay off their social media, okay? But it's because it in itself is it's like performance art, so they're actually putting on an act, a performance for you, for themselves, for the flying monkeys, for anyone who is watching. And there is different reasons why they're doing that for all the different audiences. For themselves, for example, their construct, so their false self, took a hit with if you either escaped them or they discarded you. The fact is, if you didn't go groveling back like you were supposed to, if you didn't take your punishment like you were supposed to, that would have caused a narcissistic injury. And anything that threatens the narcissist's false self, so the false construct, threatens their actual existence, their feeling of existence. It threatens to annihilate them. So, hello, darling. Sorry, my light's a little bit strange here at the moment. I don't know. We'll see how we go. I mean, look, shut your eyes, listen. It's all good. You don't need to see me to hear what I'm saying. So depends, like I said, on who's viewing. So for themselves, when they put those images on their social media, it helps to reaffirm this false construct. They see it and they go, oh, look at me being, all in love and with the new supply, and we're the perfect couple, or we're a beautiful family, if they've got family or whatever. So they're creating a new narrative, so a new version of who they are, and they're using the social media for that purpose. So when the new supply sees the photos that they've put up on their social media, they too are like, oh, look at us, we're such a beautiful couple, which in turn helps reinforce this false construct. And again, when outsiders, like the flying monkeys and just outsiders, anyone else, you've got to remember, when a narcissist has had a breakup, especially if there's been family involved, there are people looking at them going, what the hell is he doing or she doing? I'm just going to, from now on, it's just, I'm talking to you girls. If the blokes are here and they want to listen, that's absolutely fine, but I'm not going to keep editing myself to make blokes happy. All right, so darlings, back to it. There are people looking at him going, what the hell are you doing? Right? So isn't that the best way to answer all the critics? To show these images of them and they just look so in love, because we're all a bit of a sucker for love. We can all kind of forgive a whole lot of sins that are done in the name of true love. So quite literally, those images that they put up on Facebook and social media and whatever are also for, like I said, you, them, the new supply, and for anyone else who's watching, so that they will go, oh, well, they do look really happy together, and he wasn't really happy before with the wife. So, maybe it was a good thing. Maybe it was a good thing. I mean, they really do look happy, don't they? And there's no denying they look really happy in those photos, which is why they do it. Okay, this is exactly the type of manipulative bullshit that you can expect from a narcissist. So, they also, hello, darlings, thank you for joining me. Thank you. They also, I'll get around to that question in a minute, Harriet. So they also, when you see them, so like I said, you either see them in person, and narcissists are very, very aware of their surroundings, right? So if they're going to the supermarket where you always shop, best believe they're going in there looking as good as they ever do. Best believe they're going to be flirting and laughing and talking to the new supply the whole way around that supermarket. just on the off chance that they run into you. That's how manipulative they are. But that is exactly the kind of thing they do. Because if you accidentally run into them in the supermarket and they're all happy and joyful and, you know, so in love, you walk away going, oh my God, they're so in love. And you've just bought into it. You've bought into the lie. And as I said, which is now helping him rebuild that false construct of himself. Because he probably does feel on some level, you know, like people are talking about him. People know he's a piece of shit because he's, you know, abandoned his family, run off with some woman, whatever, you know, however it all unfolded. And this is, you know, this is the way of making it all be okay, you know, because there's no fighting true love, and they're, you know, and they're so in love. That's the message you have to get loud and clear. I mean, it's all fake, it's all bullshit, but this is what I'm saying. Narcissists work with signs and signals. They are continually reading everyone, and they expect that we are going to do the same, right? So they know damn well that if you look on their social media and he's all happy and loving, they know that you're going to buy into it, that you're not going to think to yourself, well, that's all just fake bullshit. You know, well, hopefully you will now that you've listened to me. Hopefully you will just realize it's all just performance art. All right, I've got some notes here, darlings. So the other thing is also, oh my God, of course. So we all know they go through this kind of chronically bored, right? And they get literally manic when they have a new thing. So with this new supply, he's experiencing, like if you're saying to me, you know, oh no, he really seems to really love this one, right? Well, what I'm going to say to you is he's just like a kid with a new toy, right? He loves it right now. It's so shiny, it's so new, and look what it does, and look what I can do with its arms and legs, you know. And he's playing with the toy and he's putting it in everyone's face going, look at my new toy, look at my new toy, right? That's what they do. They did it with you. You might not remember that, but they did, right? And they're doing it with a new supply, and it's got fuck all to do with love and everything to do with performance art, okay? And showing off, and like I said, and their own just their mental health, like they're literally manic. They're losing their mind. It's like they're high. They might as well be like, I don't know, snorting cocaine and smoking marijuana. They are that freaking high in the first, you know, couple of weeks, months. They are that high on this new supply. It is ridiculous. So, you know, yes, they'll tell you that they're in love. Yes, they'll tell you they're getting married, that they're, you know, this, that, and that he's never felt this way about anyone. You know, yeah, they'll say all of that stuff. None of it is true. Okay, you need to, as the observer of all of this, you need to stay reality-based. You can't drink the Kool-Aid. You can't buy into the lies and the bullshit. Because like I said, he's just high as a freaking kite, literally on her newness. You know, all the things that she is right now that he's loving, you know, in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 10 years down the track, those are the same things that he's going to be hating about her, and he's going to be trying to find the opposite in another person. So don't compare yourself with the new supply. You know, she's a victim just like you are a victim, right? Don't buy into it, because when you do, and he knows that you are, that's fueling him. That's giving him so much fuel. All right, darlings, what else? So they love an audience. Yeah, so they know that there are people watching, whether it's, like I said, online, or even, you know, even if they are at the local bar, they'll go to the places where people are going to see them, hoping that someone is going to see them, and then that person, like the unbeknown flying monkey that they've become, will then come back to you and say, oh my God, guess who I saw at the pub the other night? And you know, being the brainwashed dipshit that you are, will go, oh, what? Tell me all about it, right? We have to stop caring, because it's all just an illusion. And when we buy into it, when we ask for the information, when we talk to flying monkeys, you know, all we do is damage ourselves. What we need to do is get to the point where we just say, that's nice. Please don't tell me about it. I don't want to know about it. It's all a load of bullshit. Yes, so they love the newness. They love the possibility of it, of the new supply, you know, because let's face it, She's someone who hasn't been in a relationship with him for X amount of time. So everything about her is new. He has to figure out. It's like a new kind of puzzle, or it's a new, it's unknown territory. There's a whole lot of discovery that's going to take place right now. And that is really exciting. So this is what you're actually seeing. When you see him and he's looking good and they're looking in love, you're actually just seeing someone who's, like I said, like a child with a new toy, or someone who's like mad off their head on drugs, right? Obsessing over something. Because that's all it is. It's just obsession. There's actually a term for it. I can't remember what it is. I probably should have looked it up. But there's a term. It's not just infatuation. It's another term. Maybe one of you guys will know it. But there's a word, and it means more than infatuation. It's like this just crazed obsession that they go through in the beginning stages. So, often we think, oh, but it seems really genuine, and and on some level it's kind of genuine because they believe the way they feel, but the way they feel isn't really real because it's just based on this newness, if that makes sense. So, they don't really have long-lasting feelings of love. They don't really even know this person. It's just all that possibility and the what may be, and the imagining of it. I mean, they're getting high on imagining just how awesome the future could be. Because let's face it, thinking about doing anything is so much easier and so much more amazing than actually doing it. Doing anything is hard work. It takes effort, and that's where the narcissists always fall through. They don't have follow through. They're big dreamers. They love talking a good game, but it's all just future faking, and they don't follow through. So when you see him with her acting all, crazy in love, that's probably a really good term for it, actually, crazy in love. Just forget the love bit. Just call it crazy. Okay? So when you see him acting all crazy, that's what's actually going on. He's lost his mind. He's just high on his own mania. And the manipulative side, so there's two things. There's the mania that he's feeling, and the other side, the highly manipulative performance art that he's putting out there, specifically and solely for you, for the other flying monkeys, and for her, so that you all reinforce back to him that he is really in love with her, that really was worth destroying a family over, or whatever. Like I said, however it all went down, he needs to prove to everyone that it was worth it, that he damaged the kids and everything that happened, that it was worth it. And if he can say, but we're like Romeo and Juliet, I mean, my God, look at us, we're so in love. Some poor sucks out there would believe it, and they'll go, oh yeah, that's okay, because they're in love, But the truth is, like I said, it's not love. It's not love with her. It wasn't love with you, and it's not going to be love with the one after her. So don't spin your wheels over him. All right, darlings, I'm not sure what's going on with my live feed. I think it's playing up a little bit. So I'm going to say goodbye. But just before I go, I just wanted to quickly answer what Harriet asked about when they're hiding the new supply. It's usually two things. One is that they're usually targeting more than one supply. So they might have supply, but they might also not be 100% sure if they've got it locked down. So they may have more than one. I mean, they always have more than one. Sorry. They always have more than one. They're always sourcing new supply. But they quite literally might have more than one person that they're trying to make primary supply. So they don't want to put it up on Facebook as, being the other half, because that will actually affect his chances with other women, and it's really quite sinister because they're playing like a long con as well. They're thinking about what it's going to be like in 10 years. Like, they know that they're going to get over her because they've done it before. They know their own cycles. They know their own patterns, right? So they're also thinking, well, there's this one that lives down the road. She's quite cute. And there's that one over in that other state. And there's the ex as well. I've got to think about how, in the future, all of these people might be, the supply for them. So if he's not putting her up on his Facebook, then I would say that he's thinking of the future long con with another person. There's other supply around, or he might even be embarrassed, Or he might just want to keep you guessing, which is why you don't look at his Facebook. This is exactly why, darling. You're spending too much time having to think about him and his bullshit, you know? And they love it when we're thinking about them. So it's important to heal. And one of the best ways that you're going to heal is stop buying into his bullshit. So stop looking at his social media. All right, just quickly. I'm not sure. Look, there's too many comments to answer to, but I just wanted to tell you guys just quickly 2 things before I go. One is if anyone wants a one-on-one consult with me. So this is for the people who are just not sure what they're dealing with in their situationship, relationship. I'll leave the link in the description box. And also my Narc-free challenge is almost finished, and I'm super excited to be launching that. I say it'll probably be done by the end of next week. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be counting down the days soon. I'm pretty excited. It's taken me a damn long time to get this together. All right, lovelies, thank you for joining me. And yeah, look, just get narc-free, stay narc-free. You know, these people are just so not worth it. And don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't buy into the bullshit. It's all just an illusion. It's performance art, and it's designed to make you feel something. Okay? It's all an illusion. All right, lovelies, thank you for watching. Bye.